Hey everybody, it's Mike, aka That Reseller Guy. It's that time of year, time to reflect upon last year and go over the top 20 sales of 2021. In past years, I've done the top 40, but this year we're going over the top 20 sales. Part of the reason why is I had a bunch of pictures taken that happened in the middle of the year, probably just during the summer, and those pictures all got lost of items that sold during that time, so I don't have the images for those items. So we just decided to go for the top 20, and it's going to encompass mainly what happened at the beginning of the year and the end of the year, but we got a lot of great items, and these are all thrift store or local auction found items. No sports cards, nothing that I call a sports collectible unless it was found at a thrift store. So these are all items that any person can find just going out and checking their local thrift stores from time to time, just like I do. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started again. We got 20 of them. They're not all the most valuable items that I found. There's some that are more, but sometimes I put them on here because I thought they were really cool items, or just items that surprised me with how much that they actually sold for. And definitely things that I've added to my be on the lookout for or BOLO list. So let's go ahead and get going. All right, first up, we have these penny black rubber stamps. I think there were 5 of them, and they were all cats on them. I had no idea penny black stamps went for this much. I ran these at an auction because it looked like some of the auction prices were bringing good money, and it sold for, I believe it's $61 is what the auction sold for. So 5 stamps, got over $10 piece for these penny black. I'm sure there's some other names out there in rubber stamps to be looking for, but if you see some penny black ones, definitely pick them up. I found these for just a few dollars. Next up, we have a skateboard. I love finding cool old items like this. I wasn't a skater back in my high school days. Probably would have broken an ankle or an elbow, wrist, something. But this is a Christian Hosoi hammerhead skateboard. Really cool one, vintage. Picked it up. Sold for $82. I can't remember if I ran this one as an auction or not, but either way, I ended up getting $82 plus shipping. Again, it's another item that picked up pretty cheap, around $10. I put this next one in here specifically because I think a lot of people overlook this category. You see a lot of wooden tennis rackets at thrift stores, but generally, they're not ones that are very expensive. They're ones that might sell for $10 to $20, but they take a lot of time before they'll sell. Some of these vintage old ones, like this one here. This is an Ashland wooden tennis racket. You can usually tell by the bottom part of where the grip would be. It has a different material on there. It's like a leather piece of strip. If I see that, I definitely pick these up. I've sold 2 or 3 of these through the years with this type of look to it, and they've all sold really well. This one here ended up going for $75. You can generally pick these up for $3 to $10 at thrift stores, just depending on how they price them. But definitely look for these ones that are older, early 1900s versus the ones that were in like the 1970s, maybe even 60s that you see all the time. Those ones do sell, but very slowly. This next item I put in here specifically because it was an estate sale find. One that a friend of mine went to before. He didn't pick it up, probably because it was big and bulky. He didn't want to deal with it. I knew about it because I had sold one earlier in the year that was very similar to this. It is a Granville Brothers GB desk model plane. I sold one almost exactly like it earlier in the year for about the same amount. I think I got a little more for that one. This one here, I got $100 for. I bought it for $25 at the estate sale. Yeah, it's big, it's bulky. You got to protect it. $25 buy to get $100 for. I'm really happy with this one. Sold this plane, and I'll be happy to buy some more in the future. Next up, we have a telephone. Most people think telephones are obsolete, but there's still a lot of businesses that need these, whether it be big corporate businesses or small ones that might have 5, 10, 15 employees. They still need desk phones. They still need office phones. They still need this speaker phone, and this is specifically an AT&T 4-line speaker phone. It was a new open box, but it was a really good model. $129.99, and again, these are things that thrift stores usually don't price up too high, bought for less than $10. The next time I was really excited to find, I found a bunch of different cross-stitch sets all on one day, paid anywhere from like $2 to $4 a piece for them. Only sold a couple of the other ones, but this one here I knew was going to be the gem of the group, this Dimensions Gold. It's something to definitely be on the lookout for. These sell for big money. Originally had it listed at $120. Someone sent me an offer for $100, and I wanted to make sure that it got sold before Christmas, and it did. $100 for a cross-stitch set that I paid about $3 for. It ships easy. It just goes in a mailer. It's a fantastic way to make money. I wish I could find hundreds of these. We're to number 14 now, and this is a bat, but it's not a baseball bat. It's a fast pitch softball bat. Again, it's an item that you see a lot at thrift stores. You see a lot of bats. Most of them are junk. They sell for maybe $10 if you're lucky, $20 on a good day. I always look up ones that look unique. Just check out the model numbers, and this one here was a winner. I think I bought 2 or 3 bats that day. Someone must have donated them all together. This one here is a DeMarini fast pitch softball, not baseball, not slow pitch softball. Those ones can sell for big money too, but this one specifically fast pitch softball, $129.99, so $130. I think the bat was like $7.50, so a fantastic return, $100 plus on a sub $10 purchase. Item number 13, I actually got pretty lucky. They were rolling out a cart right as I was looking through items, and I saw an American Girl doll box on the bottom. So not only was the doll inside, it still had its original box, and this is Grace Thomas. I had to look it up. I didn't know. My daughter didn't play with dolls. I don't play with dolls. So I had to look it up, find out this was Grace Thomas. It was in good condition, still in the box, listed it out there, and it sold pretty quick. $120 plus shipping. I'm sure I could have priced it maybe a little higher, waited for the right buyer to come along. Maybe it took several weeks to months to sell, but I got a sale pretty quick at $120. Number 12. I love selling Lego. It's one of the things I'm always looking out for, and this one here was priced a little more expensive at the thrift store. I think it was somewhere in that $15 to $20 range. It had an older box, and it wasn't complete. And that's definitely one of the reasons why I wanted to make sure that this item was in the listing or in this year's top 20, because it wasn't complete. Now, there was a lot of the pieces there. It ran, it worked, and that's why I got good money for it. Sold for $129.99. Again, another item that paid less than $20 for, over $100 sale, and it wasn't complete. So your Lego set doesn't need to complete. You don't need every piece and part. As long as it's a good quality one, you will sell it for some big dollars. All right, now we're getting to my first sports jersey. It's one of the few pieces of clothing that I sell. I do sell some other ones as well, but I always check the sports jerseys. You can get some good money here. And this was a Steve Nash jersey, but what was unique about it, it was the Los Suns jersey. There was a lot less of those made, in demand, good size, $180. Yeah, it sold last year during the Suns playoffs, so it was the perfect situation. The Suns were in the playoffs, went to the finals. Someone here locally wanted to buy it. They did buy it off of eBay, but they bought it here so they could wear it to the Suns game. So $180 for the Steve Nash jersey. Again, another item that was bought for about $12. All right, we're to the top 10. This is number 10. And actually this one I feel like I got a little bit lucky on because I didn't really know exactly what it was worth. I looked it up at the store, but I was going to buy it anyways. It's a beer tray. I could tell it was a vintage one, and I believe it was really cheap. I don't remember the exact price, but the store I bought it at prices pretty cheaply. So I'm going to guess I paid less than $10, probably more like $5. It is a Becker's beer tray. When I looked it up on eBay, I saw that the demand for Becker beer items was really high. This was the first time I ever found one. So I went ahead and ran this item as an auction because there were no other beer trays out there. Ended up getting $171.50. Yeah, blown away by this one. I found other beer trays before, and they ended up being $10, $15, $20. But this one here, a little bit older, a little bit more in demand, $171. Wow, I was amazed. All right, we're getting to more of my kind of stuff, Warhammer. I love finding games like this, Warhammer, Dungeons & Dragons, any of these type of geeky games, as a lot of people like to call them. Warhammer items can do really well, especially if you get older ones, older sets, or some newer ones that haven't been punched out where all the pieces and parts are still new. And that's how this one was. I don't know if it was completely unpunched, but the majority of it was. So Warhammer 40K, it's 40,000, but people just call it 40K. Dark Vengeance set. Picked it up. I don't remember on this one. I wish I remember. Had to go way back in my records to look and find out. Usually when I'm finding these, I'm finding them for under $10 or just in the game section thrown in there like any other game. This one sold for $140. I had it priced a little bit higher. I think I took an offer for $140. Probably had it at $150 or $160. But yeah, $140 sale. Another big one. All right, next is a category I don't find a lot of items for. It's in like what I call the camping outdoors area. Not an item or not a category that I'm very knowledgeable on, but I know when I find something that looks cool and unique and old, I know how to research it. This was a Coleman Lantern. Coleman Lanterns, most of them on the bottom, you flip them over and it has a date printed on the bottom when it was made. This was 1961. It's the red model. Turns out to be a very in-demand model. It came in a little carrying case. I actually sold the carrying case separately for about $15. So that paid for more than what I already paid for the whole item. Sold the lantern separately. Now, it was an item that you have to pack pretty carefully because it has a glass globe. I boxed that separately, made it big box, make sure I got it to the buyer carefully because it sold for $152.50. Another item that I ran. I'm pretty sure I ran this was as an auction as well. So another $150 plus sale. All right, we got another sports jersey. This is number 7, Nashville Sounds. They're a minor league baseball team. This was a game used jersey. I had to do a little research. When I saw it in the store, I figured it was. I know what the tagging looks like on team issue jerseys. This was definitely one of them. Nashville Sounds is a very popular and well collected team. Went for $227. Yeah, just for its jersey that was hanging on the rack at a Savers or Goodwill. I don't remember which one of those two I got it from. And again, I probably paid less than $10 for it. Got $200 plus. Don't overlook the sports jerseys. I know sometimes they price them high, but if this one was at the store for $50, I still would have bought it. All right, number 6, and I ranked this one higher than some of the other ones just because this one I think is a good learning tool. Everybody knows Lego. Everybody knows to go out and find Lego sets, new, old, like that train set. But this one here is a Megablok set. Megabloks get us overlooked, but this is a vintage one. And I found this through an online website auction through AuctionZip. It's one that I bid on from time to time. They're up in Las Vegas, this auction house. Saw this in there. It was brand new in the box. The box was pretty beat up, but it was still a fantastic set. I won it for $10 because nobody else was bidding on it because it was Megablok. It was big. The box was big, so everybody also knew that it was going to cost them a bunch to get shipped to them. Now, they're in Nevada. I'm in Arizona. For them to ship it here, I think I paid like $20 for them to ship it to me. So I had about $30 into this set, sold for $160. So I just like to show that it's not always Lego. It's not always that top name brand that you need to find. You just need to find the right sets from these other brands. We made it top 5 items of last year. I'm excited looking back on these. I have some great stories for some of them, but first up, this one was great. 1956 New York Mets team signed baseball, which included Willie Mays. Yes, this was a thrift store found item. I know some of you aren't going to believe me. I wish I was recording that day. A thrift store I go to has a bin that they throw all the baseballs in. I am guessing that they thought that this was just like a stamped baseball or something and got thrown in there. I've found many signed baseballs there through the years, but this being by far the best. So yeah, I didn't get it authenticated, and the reason why is when you have a team baseball like that, they can charge hundreds of dollars because they have to authenticate every signature on there, not just the key one in Willie Mays. So I had some people look it over. They agreed with me it was legit. I always put in my listings that I guarantee it to be authentic if someone does want to spend the money to get it authenticated. So yeah, for $2, actually $1.98 is what they charge for baseballs at this store. I got this team signed baseball with Willie Mays on it, and it sold for $205. Yeah, I'm going to go back a couple of years. Again, another item that nobody believes me on or will believe me watching this video. I found a Michael Jordan autographed basketball at one of my local thrift stores for $2. Same thing. It was on a Washington Wizards basketball that was flat. And again, they must have just thought it was a stamped signature on there. I got it authenticated, sold it to a local contact, somebody that helped me kind of reinflate the ball, sold it to them for, I think it was $250 at the time. Now today, selling a Michael Jordan autograph for $250 seems a little cheap. But at the time, it was a good deal. Sold it to him. He made a little bit of money on it too. So within like a week, I bought that ball for $2 and I sold it for $250. I wish I had some pictures of it I could show you, but yeah, it just shows that these items are out there to be found. Not real often, but it seems like once a year I find one of these amazing items like it. All right, number 4. The rest of the items are all $200 or above, or $199.99. We'll call it $200. This next one I found, I think it was beginning of December, because I knew it would sell around Christmas time, but actually it didn't take very long to sell. It sold within a week. This is a Spiro, I don't know exactly how it's pronounced, BB-8. It's an app-controlled droid. We had one of these a couple years ago. We had bought for my daughter, so we know that they're expensive. They've actually gone up in value because they don't make them anymore. This one was still new in the box. Yeah, it was just sitting on top of the toy section at a Goodwill, and I believe it was like $5. It was very cheap. Brought it home. I actually listed it on eBay and Amazon. I listed it on both sites, but it sold on eBay first. $200. Yeah, $199.99 plus shipping, I'm pretty sure. And yeah, I knew someone would buy it for Christmas. I love items like this. When you find an item that you already know what it's worth, you grab it, you know it sells quick. $200 on this one. All right, next we got another $200 sale, another item that sold within a day or two of me listing. I showed this in a thrift haul that one day. I know nothing really about this category, about scuba diving, other than what the stuff is and to look it up. I don't know brand names. I don't know what parts are called. This was a Cressy. I know it was called a regulator, but it also had the octopus, which I guess is the part where everything plugs into. It had that with it. It had the depth gauge. It had everything you needed. It had a carrying case, and it looked like it was brand new. I really don't think it was ever used. If it was, it might have been used once. Fantastic condition. Threw it out there for $200. It sold within like a day or two of me listing. I paid $6 for it. I bought that and the matching die vest. I listed the die vest separately. I think I have that at $150. It has not sold yet, but that one stop that day is probably going to make me $300 to $350 in gross sales. All right, the top two. I love both of these items. I didn't know which way to rank them, but they're both close in value. But I went ahead and wanted to do this sports one. I don't want a sports one to be number one. I specialize, I think, in sports items. This one here is a Washington Redskins football helmet. It is a VSR 4, which is a specific model that you want to look for in these higher dollar ones. If you can find them in NFL football teams, big money. This one here is a retro, so it had like the spear logo, which is even in more demand. I put it out there for $300, and again, it didn't take too long to sell. I think within a week or two, this sold after me listing. So Washington Redskins, vintage, VSR 4 football helmet, $300. Yeah, I think it was $12 at a Goodwill. Another amazing find. All right, now we're at number one, and actually I wanted to say this earlier, but I want to thank everybody for watching this video. If you're new, you're watching me for the first time, and you like reselling content like this, please hit the subscribe button, help to support the channel. Let me know down in the comments which one of these 20 was your favorite item. All right, number one, this actually sold like January 3rd of last year, just after the new year. This is an item that I think a lot of resellers don't really understand why it sells for as much as it does. Just one of those mysteries of the universe. I found two of them in one thrift store, and that thrift store generally doesn't have good items. Very rare that I'm finding good things, but that one day they had two of these. It's an Intex Wet Set 48-inch inflatable beach ball. For some reason, this 48-inch beach ball is in huge demand and sells for big money. I think I had them listed at like $170 or $180 per ball. Yeah, some crazy price, but because he was buying both of them, I gave him a little bit of a break. Went for $311.98, $155 per beach ball, and I believe I bought them for $3 each. I don't know why these beach balls sell for as much as they do, but if you ever found one, you found a little piece of gold because they are amazing. You look at what's available and what's sold, the sell-through rate is fantastic on them too. So just hope one day that you run across a couple of these 48-inch beach balls just like I did. All right, that's it. That's the top 20 of 2021. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you did. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.